The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Pompey dominated for long stretches, with Zach Swanson's thunderbolt putting them ahead before the break. After half-time, Adrian Segecic doubled the lead with a deflected strike. Even after Joe Bryan was sent off for the visitors, Mihailo Ivanovic pulled one back to raise the tension. But substitute Jordan Williams settled it late on, with a brilliant solo goal. John Messinho made 5 changes from the side edged out at Hull before the international break. Nikola Schmid and Segecic came straight back in, along with Swanson, Mark Kusnowski and Florian Bianchini. Josef Bursic, Connor Chaplin and Williams were on the bench, with Iban Boat and Luke Leroux missing out. There was also a welcome spot among the subs for Callum Lang, back after a hamstring injury that had sidelined him since August. In driving rain, the game took time to spark and clear chances were scarce. Josh Murphy was Pompey's main outlet on the left. One burst ended with Segecic rolling the ball across the face of goal, and another saw a cross that Colby Bishop couldn't quite reach. Once they settled, the hosts took control. Regan Poole released Swanson for a shot that was blocked. Swanson wasn't to be denied though. On 22 minutes he took a pass from Murphy 25 yards out, and smashed a ferocious effort into the roof of the net. It could have been 2 soon after when keeper Max Crocombe raced out and failed to claim Schmid's long ball, but standing on the edge of his box he managed to block Segecic follow-up. Play was halted for a lengthy spell when Zach Sturge took the ball flush in the face and had to be stretchered off. Millwall then enjoyed their best period of the half, and on 40 minutes Schmid got down smartly to save Derek Mazusako's volley from an Alfie Doughty corner. Half-time. Pompey 1, Millwall 0.
The visitors threatened immediately after the restart, but Poole did well to divert Macaulay Langstaff's effort wide. Instead, Pompey soon doubled their advantage on 51 minutes. Murphy slipped a clever pass to Segecic, who tried to find Bishop, only for the ball to flick off Tristan Kramer and fly past Crocombe. Murphy found the Australian again shortly after, though his ball across for Bishop was cleared. The biggest cheer so far came just past the hour as Lang made his long-awaited return, replacing Segecic. Pompey looked comfortable, but Schmid still had to tip a low drive from Daniel Kelly behind on 65 minutes. Millwall's hopes took a major blow soon after, when Bryan flew into a challenge on Lang, and was shown a straight red by referee Michael Salisbury. Williams came on for Swanson, as the hosts looked to press home the advantage. Bianchini went close with an angled strike after another excellent Murphy delivery, but on 72 minutes the Lions pulled one back, Ivanovic steering in an Aidomo Emaku corner. Pompey hit back straight away, with Josh Knight turning Terry Devlin's cross into Crocombe's arms. Messinho then introduced Chaplin and Marlon Pack for Bianchini and Andre Dozzell as the clock ticked down. The points could have been wrapped up when Murphy broke and squared for Lang, but his first effort was blocked by Kramer and his second saved by Crocombe. Any nerves vanished on 89 minutes though, when Williams surged from halfway, cut inside and rifled a fierce shot past Crocombe for his first Pompey goal. Murphy almost added a late flourish when his deflected cross from the left clipped the bar, but it didn't matter. The job was done, and Pompey stretched their cushion to the bottom 3 to a healthy 7 points.
Yeah, the performance was excellent. That was the primary focus for today, to make sure we got back to performing how I think we definitely can do, and we've seen that, but it's just been too patchy this season, particularly at home. So that was the most important thing, and we knew that the result would come off the back of that if we did put everything together. And yeah, it was a much more enjoyable afternoon, and the feeling I think we have after that game, we've got to carry on into the rest of the season. It's really pleasing in a lot of ways, because it has been a tough couple of weeks mentally for the boys off the back of the defeat against Hull, and the run that we've had from the last international break from Middlesbrough through to the Hull game, where we didn't pick up a win in between those 2 international breaks, and yeah, that had taken its toll, I think, just on the players, on the club in general, and we just needed that to lift the place. Obviously really important in terms of the points as well, but yeah, really important that the lads responded, and if the game had gone a different way for whatever reason at 2-1, I still would have been thrilled with the performance. I felt we were a lot more positive today, and really sort of took the handbrake off in a lot of situations. Scored some really good goals, or scored at least, scored 2 really good goals. I'm not sure about Seggs' one, whether he meant it or not. He probably will tell you that he did, but I'm very positive. Switched it out really well to both sides. We managed to get 2 wingers on the pitch today as well. And to be honest, yeah, if you go through the individuals, I thought for everybody that set foot on the pitch was very good. I mean, the right backs are having a really good spell of form in terms of goal scoring at the minute, and Swanee, we made that decision off the back of Willow actually doing very well and coming in at left back over the past couple of games, but we thought this game would suit him slightly more, and I think he linked up really well with Murph a couple of times, and I think Millwall did a pretty good job in the opening half an hour on Murph, but it did inevitably open up a little bit of space for Swanee, and we didn't necessarily expect him to put in the top corner like that, but technically a very, very good player, and we know that he can strike it well. And Willow scored that goal in pre-season against Reading. We could probably expect a bit more of him because he's so athletic and he burst forward so well, but very pleased that the two of them actually got the score sheet. I mean, particularly with the amount of added time that we knew was going to be put on because of a couple of the injuries and the fact that we'd had a few stoppages in the second half, all the substitutions that were made, and that I think it just relieved everybody. We had, inevitably when we conceded the goal, everything got a bit tense. We tightened up a little bit, and it's tough against 10 men because the expectation is all of a sudden that we're just going to step on and we're going to cruise to victory. We didn't put the ball in the back of the net at the other end, and we had a couple of opportunities to do that. Really, really pleasing. I think it just took the pressure off for the last 7 or 8 minutes.
As usual, he hits the nail right on the head. The challenge was getting something out of the squad, having gone into the international break a whole fortnight with the bitter aftertaste of Hull. And Hull, we dropped a point. It should have been a draw, at least. We dropped a point because of a moment of indiscretion, a moment's lack of concentration, and suddenly we're on the receiving end of a defeat. So we had to turn that round. And it took 10 minutes, didn't it, into the game before Pompey began to grow into the game and began to realise we're at least as good as this lot. We haven't been getting the results that this lot have been getting, but we're at least as good as them, and we are at home, and we have the faithful behind us, and we've got the kind of weather that we kind of like, the driving rain and the cold and the wind, greasy surface, but we can slog it out with the best of them, and Millwall can slog, and we slogged them, and we came away actually very healthy winners. So a really good job done on the psychology of the squad, and in particular the players that played in that game, and onwards and upwards. As Massino says, if we can keep that going, then we'll be more than fine. And we all know that that's true, isn't it? So happy days for now, hopefully for a long while. After the game, Pompey put up Zach Swanson for interview, and he had this to say to the journalists.
It was a win that we all needed as a football club, the group of players and the supporters as well. Being able to give them something to cheer about is great, and coming at Fratton Park makes it that bit sweeter. Bar the Birmingham game, we've only been beaten by the odd goal, but we've been waiting for a performance like that. We've been looking to really kick on at home, and playing like that to really get the crowd on side was great. We haven't been scoring as many goals here, which is what we'd built last season on, but we managed to get a few in this one. You don't just look at the attackers to put the ball in the net, it's a team thing, just like it is at the other end of the pitch. It helps to have guys like Josh Murphy and Callum Lang back out on the pitch, and you can see the difference they make. Now we need to really push on, because when you win a game, the important thing is to keep that momentum going.
Always interesting to read into the psychology of the way that Pompey work, with the psychology that they apply to football, to the fans, and certainly to the players. And the decision that Swanson should go in front of the press and talk to them was obviously carefully thought out on the basis that Kuznetsky was made man of the match, but Swanson and Williams played a very significant part in the game. And the person I think that was identified by John Massino as the person who needed the most nurture and encouragement and biggest pat on the back for his performance on the day was Swanson. And so he was put forward to be interviewed by the press. Didn't tell us anything that we don't know, but we learned something about the way the club works, how they promote players, how they make players feel better about themselves. You can't feel too good about yourself, can you, as a footballer? I don't think so. Maximum confidence, maximum performance.